Hello, everybody. Hope you've had a good morning so far. Well, you can see we're gonna be back with more Katawa Shoujo. Sorry if I don't seem like I'm full of energy right away. I am still pretty tired. But, well, I'm here anyway, so let's just keep it going. I'll slowly get my energy back as we go through. Whew. So, what happened the last time we went through this? Well, a decent amount. We were on our way to a picnic with Emmy and Rin, but like just as we, I think, yeah, it was like just as we reached, yeah, just as we reached town, the rain came down. It rained us out. Luckily, we brought an umbrella with us, so we were covered for the most part and did our best to cover the girls as we ran for the Shanghai. We sat in there for a bit, hoping for the rain to die down, which it didn't. So we just kind of figured, all right, let's just head back to school. Emmy went ahead of us because, well, she felt like running after eating a slice of cake, a slice of pie, and then most of our slice of pie. So she ran off ahead, leaving me and Rin alone. We kind of talked a little bit, mostly because I think it's been a little awkward between us since I more or less was trying to tell her beforehand. You really should take up the teacher's offer and get your art put on display in a gallery. So, well, we were at least able to talk again. She wasn't really holding any grudges. It's hard to tell what Rin's thinking half the time. You never really know. After that, it was about a day or two later, we see Emmy, but we don't see Rin at all. Because it turns out, well, first, Emmy actually had gotten a cold and was sick. So she was gone for about a day or two. But it was after that, we see Emmy, but we don't see Rin. Turns out she got sick because of Emmy. Emmy decided to take care of her by giving her some medicine, and when we go to check on her, we realize, wow, Rin's just been chewing on frickin' cold medicine. A lot. Just popping down codeine pills. So she was pretty loopy and out of there when we finally saw her. Hey, Nichols, how's it going? So, I mean, she even answered the door wearing nothing but an open shirt and her panties. So that was something. As after that point, where she was like falling in and out of consciousness and deciding to go to bed, decided to do the gentlemanly thing and walk us out the door. She then proceeded to stumble and kiss us. And she just kind of thought nothing of it, flopped down onto her bed, and went to sleep. About a day later, she was okay, back to her normal self, saying she didn't really remember much of anything that happened, which is not surprised, she was high out of her mind. But after a talk and even telling her, yeah, you kind of kissed me, her face was just kind of like, oh, okay. You're doing good? Oh, good to hear. I'm alright, I'm just kind of tired. That's all. Just tired as usual. But it was during that talk we both kind of decided we want to be better people in general, so one, Hisao not exactly being a gloomy motherfucker all the time, and Rin deciding she's gonna actually, you know, take the teacher up on the offer of having her art displayed. They just want to move forward in their lives kind of thing, so that's nice. And that finished off Act 2, so we entered into Act 3. I mean, you can kind of see we're slowly getting this filled up now. There's Rin's Act 2 cut-in. Her Act 3 cut-in is, in fact, 2 pictures, for whatever reason. But they're there, so we've only got one more to go. And then we've got all the cut-ins, and we've done all the routes, more or less. The end is near. That's all I can really say. The end is near. Alright. Let us... Why did I make a save here? Oh, yeah, I remember now. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna load up our save and get back into Rin's route. Here we go. I asked you a question, Nakai. I shake my head and fend off the dazedness. The teacher's looking at me, as is everyone else in the class. Sorry. I wasn't paying attention. What's the distance between... Never mind. Different question. Why are you here, in this class? Because he's forced to be here, that's why. To, learn about physics. Yes. Well, no, but that's the answer I wanted to hear. To acquire knowledge is the secondary reason for you being in the school. The primary one is to learn the rules of society, the norms and ethics that govern your everyday life. So basically, stop, dozing off. Pay the fuck attention. Don't be rude. I think that's what he's trying to get at. You don't come to school for the classes. You come to interact with the other people there. Your classmates who are your equals, and the teachers who are your superiors. You learn how to form social contacts and maintain them. In other words, how to be part of society. The school itself is a microcosm. Yeah, microcosm, I think. The school itself is a microcosm of the entire society. Locke was the one who realized that, you know? School's not just a place for learning, and of all the kids your age, you guys should know that better than anyone else. Muto's kind of... I've ruined my Muto voice now. Oh well. It happens. He pauses for a moment and lets his eyes sweep over the class to see if the message sunk in. Probably not. These kids do not care, and you're so monotone about everything. That's not even just me. That's not even just me with the voice I give him. That is just him. He speaks in like a very monotone, mumbly manner. Except when he's like really interested in fucking science, and then he'll go get a little bit more pep. He's just the, God, I'm only here for the paycheck. Let's just get this done and over with. At the very least, it shut everyone up and got them to focus on him, captivated either by his voice or the sudden change of topic from physics to the philosophy of education. However, my classes, as you so aptly put, are a place for learning about physics. He points at me with a piece of chalk he's holding. So no sleeping during class. Got it, Nakai? Yes, sir. Called out. From the corner of my eye, I catch Shizune's scowl and Misha's barely contained giggle. I sink deeper into my seat. After classes end, I'm the last one to leave the classroom. I close the door behind me and quietly make my way to the art room. Oh yeah, because we're quitting the art club, but we're still gonna be there for Rin or something? I don't know, I can't remember. I don't know. He wants to support her, but he's quitting the art club because it's really not for him. Or we're just gonna, say fuck it. I don't know. Sao, you're a fucking mystery wrapped in an enigma. Sometimes. And Rin is both of those things wrapped inside a riddle, written out in a cipher, and broken up into puzzle pieces that are all black, that you need a specific thing to reveal what they actually look like in direct sunlight in the middle of summer. I can't figure out Rin. If Asao is why is the sky blue, Rin is why do we exist? That's all I could say. Right? That's like that kind of sums it up. Club time passes in relative peace and quiet. I sit in my usual seat next to Rin, but she doesn't seem to be in a talkative mood. She's even more distant than usual. Today we're going to draw still life, and I get to choose from either a vase full of fake flowers or an arrangement of rocks, sticks, and canvas. The teacher encourages us to gather around the preferred motif, emphasizing perspective, texture, and lighting as the key points of this exercise. I look at Rin to see if she prefers one of the subjects over the other, but she just tilts her head, signifying nothing. The club members quickly shuffle their chairs around the classroom to get closer to either the vase or the clutter. Rin and I both pick the flower vase, but only one of us seems to do any work. She's ignoring Nomiya's assignment, just like she suddenly started ignoring me, and has begun doodling something idly with her foot, not even really looking at what she's drawing. I try to catch her gaze, but she's looking out the window. It's making me uneasy. Rin almost looks like she's asleep with the way she's leaning back against the chair, with her legs resting easily on the desk. She's completely given up on the drawing. The more I try to relax, ignore her, and just be myself, the more it feels like I should ask if something's wrong. Oh, this fucking creep. After club activities are over and the others have filed out, Rin gets up from her seat and marches over to Nomiya with unusual determination. Yeah, he does, in fact, have a look. That's our art teacher. He also makes the tonguey face sometimes. I don't like him. I mean, he was kind of eccentric a bit. I thought it was like, alright, whatever, I can get past that, but no. He makes the tonguey face. He calls Rin good girl at times when she finally agrees to do something. I get creeper vibes from him. I don't like it. I will do it. Nomiya, who was humming to himself while sorting a box of pencils by hardness, turns around with a mixed expression of friendliness and incomprehension on his face. Oh my god, please stop. You know her fucking name. Use it. Hmm? What will you do, my girl? The gallery person. I can talk with that person. At least yesterday I thought I could. And today too. I think. I want to try it. I'm gonna go all the way. The widest smile I've ever seen on any person's face lights up the teacher's features. He is almost literally beaming. Oh, wonderful! I'd almost lost hope! Such a hard-headed girl you are. But I knew that sooner or later you'd understand as well. I'll call my good friend Sayonji and arrange a meeting. You'll need to show her work so she can estimate it. I've told her about you, but obviously you should talk face to face. Stop with the tonguey face, you fucking creep. This is exciting, isn't it? Nomiya is talking more to himself than to us, and walking in circles around his desk, waving his hands around wildly all the while. Yeah, I don't really like him. He's creepy. He calls her good girl a lot. He also says that getting her art on display at a gallery would be good for us. So it's like, no, it's not just good for Rin, it's good for Rin and Nomiya. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I'm not liking the vibes. He picks up his cell phone from the breast pocket of his jacket and flips it open with a stylish movement, starting to look for the number to call. While he searches, he notices me staring and gives me a beaming thumbs up. I shrug back at him, doing my best to not look smug. Nomiya finds the number and makes the call, turning away from us and lowering his voice once it goes through. Even so, I can hear his excited tone. The call doesn't last long. Is that Say? Is her name literally going to be Say? Let's see if I can find a pronunciation for that.
SAE.
Oh, thanks. Thanks. That doesn't help. Jeez.
SAE.
Oh my god. Well, that's useless. I'm just gonna call her Say. If someone wants to correct me at some point later, go ahead. But I'm just going with Say. Fabulous! Say is at the gallery right now, and so we could stop by right away if that's fine. This is most excellent. Do you have some kind of portfolio to show, Rin? She just shakes her head at the question. Never fear. I've taken some photos of your paintings. We can bring those, and maybe a couple of originals with us. Those will be quite sufficient for now. There should be some recent ones around here in the back, right? Pulls out a folder full of photos out of a desk drawer and then charges toward the back, where there's a small storage room and extra cabinets for all the materials and tools the art classes and club use. Oh god. Screwed that up a bit. He just had pictures of her paintings ready and prepped to go. I don't like this. I don't like him. I do not like Nomiya at all. For Kenji over him, and that's saying something. Speaking of, we've barely seen him. Watch, I've just said his name, now the next scene, I'm gonna have fucking Kenji show up. He soon finds what he's looking for and crudely wraps two of Rin's paintings in some brown packing paper. Makai, would you carry these to my car? I pick up the 2 oil paintings. They aren't heavy, but they do make navigation somewhat cumbersome as I follow Nomiya and Rin to the parking lot. Nomiya has a pretty nice car, not something I'd expect a high school teacher to drive. Wonder what kind of salaries they earn at Yamaku. The canvases are stuffed into the trunk, where they just barely fit. At the art teacher's over-enthusiastic prompting, I get in the car along with them. Rin answers my questioning stare with a confirming nod and a nonchalant shrug. Okay, no, I would not be getting into the teacher's car. I feel like you still need parental permission. They are only, no, they are 18, but still, that's technically still a child. You're not an adult in Japan until you're 20. So, I don't know. That just feels wrong. He's just urging you to get in the car with him. Ugh. Nomiya, you're not helping your case, man. Ugh. How can this get any worse? I guess I've become some sort of assistant for her now. Nomiya doesn't go light on the pedal. The smooth ride takes just about 10 minutes to bring us to the city center, where we pull into a tiny parking lot and get out of the car. I pick up the paintings again, looking around. It's just like any city in Japan, really. Same style of buildings, people hurrying here and there, office workers sweating in their suits in the summer heat. Wide, tree-lined streets aren't something you see everywhere, though. Maybe they are the city's specialty. It definitely has the feel of a city, which I thought I had already forgotten. I feel immediately comfortable walking around. Okay, yeah, we haven't been out of Yamaku or the nearby town yet. Okay. It has been a little while. I haven't actually been here before.
No. In that case, it's about time. It's a great city. Lots of wonderful folk around here. And most important of all, a vibrant cultural life. Ah, Say's place is just around the corner.
After turning around 3 more corners, Nomiya stops in front of a door. There's a nameplate in big red letters over it. 22nd corner. Is this really the 22nd corner? Of what? That's bothering me too. I mean, where to start counting, and which way do you count? Of course she takes the fucking name literally. Of course. Thank you, Rin, for just taking that name literally. Rin gets worked up over the strangest things. Unlike me, Nomiya ignores her completely and pushes the door open. The gallery is very clean looking, and the air conditioning makes it cool and very comfortable. The white walls and big windows facing onto the busy street make the whole place feel airy and bright. There's nobody around whom I can see, however. Most of the floor space is empty, with only a few large tables and a counter for furniture. There are paintings too, of course. The poster advertises an exhibition for an artist I've never heard of. Most of his work seems to be portraits and landscapes, done in a more traditional style than Rin's abstraction. Alright, okay, more characters, and of course it's a woman, because, God, this game wants me to suffer more. Doesn't want me to have a break. Ever. Just introduce more fucking characters, thank you. I'm not bitter. I chose this game. I choose all my games. Summoned by the bell on the door, a lady who looks maybe around Nomia's age comes from around the corner. She's dressed in a sharp suit, her straight dark hair in a perfect ponytail behind her head. A pair of flashy, expensive-looking eyeglasses frame her eyes. Could have just said framed her face, but whatever. But they do frame her eyes more than they frame her face. Okay, whatever. That's my head freaking hurt. On second glance, I'm not so sure of her age anymore. She looks old, and yet not actually old. Gee, what the fuck does... What does that mean, Hisao?
Say, hello!
She clearly recognizes the teacher, greeting him warmly. Okay, now I gotta... Oh, there you are, Shinichi. And so quickly. I take it these two are your students?
Indeed. Let me introduce you. This is Rin Tezuka, the one I spoke to you about. And the healthy-looking lad over there is Hisao Nakai.
She takes a long, hard look at both of us, especially Rin. Feels like we're being evaluated, that a worth of some abstract kind is being calculated for us. Her eyes linger for a long time on Rin, and her eyes, her empty sleeves tied in knots, her posture. Sei takes her first impression of Rin with an intensity I've not seen used by anyone else before. Once finished, she smiles amicably. Pleased to meet you both. My name is Sei Sayonji, and I'm the owner of this gallery. Could I maybe offer you some tea?
Oh, no thank you. We're fine. Let's get down to business.
Gee, thanks for just answering for us. You son of a bitch. I lay the paintings on a tabletop to give the gallery owner a better view, and Nomiya pulls out his folder of photos. The old lady studies Rin's works carefully, absent-mindedly brushing her cheek with her fingers while letting her gaze sweep over the paintings. Her eyes remind me of a bird of prey of some sort. They're so sharp and somehow very calculating. She takes her time, slowly going over the paintings in order without uttering a single word. Even the teacher looks very nervous. He tries to point out certain details and other things about Rin's work, but it seems like she's not listening. Well, Nomi and I keep looking at Sei, trying to look for some hint of a reaction on the gallery owner's face. Rin lets her gaze wander around the gallery space. Suddenly, she pipes up. Is this really the 22nd corner? Sei raises her gaze from the paintings to look at Rin, but doesn't answer. It's probably for the best. She takes stock of Rin's slouchy posture and her dreamy eyes that are again moving restlessly about. The way Rin seems to be detached from the situation that's supposed to be very important for her annoys me just a little. I'm practically holding my breath here. After Sei has gone through all of Nomiya's photos and inspected the two oil paintings I hauled here, she goes through all the material again, this time at a quicker pace. Finally, she gives her verdict. I like it. Though, if you don't mind me saying, you're still a bit immature. Searching for your own direction, perhaps? She picks up one of the photos. Still, just look at this. I just can't take my eyes off it. Like a little kitten playing around. That's what your art makes me feel, young lady. Thank you. I think. Nobody has ever said that before. I think. That's all Rin has to say. Something about what the gallery owner says and how she says it makes it sound patronizing to me, but I hold my tongue.
Anyway, what a wonderful imagination, though, isn't it? I've always said that Tezuka has a great eye for composition and color harmony. And technique. Remember, all of these are done with her feet. Of course, we need to put some of the simpler ones on display too, for the lay people. Right, say?
The teacher snorts derisively. You fucking dick. Yeah, okay, yeah, I 100% will take Kenji over Nomiya any day of the week.
You know how those Philistines are. What do they understand about real art? They'd just be at a loss with the abstractions and themes here. But it'll generate more publicity, and that's good, isn't it?
Sei smiles gently at Nomiya's remark and turns back to the paintings. I wonder. To tell you the truth, I just don't know if all this makes an exhibition. Even if I like it, I don't get the feel of a theme, of cohesion. I'm gonna have to look that word up because that's literally one I've never seen before. da-da-da-da. Ah, there we go. Cool. Google knows.
Ouvre.
Ouvre? Oh, ouvre. Ouvre. What does that mean, actually? What does ouvre mean? Meaning. Oeuvre, works of a painter, composer, or author regarded collectively. Is there more? Huh. Okay. Interesting. There's no oeuvre, and really, who would expect such from a young artist like the kitten here? Stop. Oh god, I'm not liking this even more now.
Oh, no, no, no! It's definitely doable, especially if you get a few new pieces and touch up some old ones.
I don't mind painting more. I'll do anything. It's a bit of a stretch.
Trust me, I wouldn't have come to you if I didn't believe Tezuka was ready. You can see it too, can't you? I know exactly what her kind is capable of, and you know too.
Those words give the gallerist lady a pause. A hollow, bottomless look takes over her eyes for a moment, as if she's looking through or maybe past Nomiya. She says nothing, but her mouth becomes a tight, flat line, as if stretched. Finally, the moment passes. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Sei sighs and takes a few steps, walking in a circle as if to help organize her thoughts. She takes another look at a photo of the painting she particularly liked, the one that made her call Rin a kitten. Oh my god, please stop with these frickin' names. Ugh. She places her hand over her mouth, lost for words. After a few moments, she shakes her head. I don't know what to say. After seeing you, dear, and these paintings of yours, would you excuse us for a moment? I want to talk to your teacher in private for a bit. Sei draws the art teacher aside, and they talk in hushed tones for a while. I can't hear what they're saying, but over her shoulder, I can see the lines around the corners of her mouth tighten as she motions with her hands in time with her words. The expression on her face is... What kind of expression is it? I couldn't say. Once they're done discussing whatever they had to discuss, they give one another a serious look. I feel something that goes beyond mere words transpiring there. They walk back to us. Sei looks seriously at Rin, her left hand reaching as if instinctively towards a pack of cigarettes that's laying on the table. Ugh. She picks the pack up and extracts one, looking at it absent-mindedly, as if only now realizing she did so, and puts it back. Okay. Cool. Don't know where this is going. Finally, she locks eyes with Rin, evaluating her once more. All right, little kitten. I'm going to believe in you. I'll display your paintings in here, but from what I can see, this is not enough. You don't really have a cohesive theme, and you don't have enough of the good stuff. You're going to have to work hard to actually get something we can put on exhibit here. I know. It's a good thing my gallery is so small, no? Rin already spends pretty much every free waking moment she has painting. How is it possible to work any harder? She'd have to skip classes to do more than she already does. And how could anyone work that much? Silence falls in the gallery after my words. Sei looks at the art teacher, who is looking contemplatively at his star student. I look at all three of them, confused.
It's doable.
What do you mean?
I mean, the school is special. The board puts great value on things such as this. I'm sure I can arrange some leave for her. It's not unprecedented by any means.
Oh my god.
I'll discuss it with her parents too, but they've been quite supportive. However, it might be a bit of a stretch to get working space for her at the school if she's not actually going to attend classes. Actually, I was thinking about this before. Do you use the place upstairs for anything?
No, I don't. Haven't since back then. What the hell is that word? Atlier? Oh, but it's just a fancier word for a workshop.
Atelier.
Atelier?
Atelier.
Atelier, okay. Atelier, basically an artist workshop. Atelier. New word. It's more like a landfill than an atelier now. Upstairs. I own a small atelier apartment on the top floor of this building, but it hasn't been in use for... Goodness, it's been so long, hasn't it? Her eyes leap to Nomiya, who has a strange, muted expression on his face.
Indeed. Do you think...
Even Nomiya, in all his brashness, has trouble coming straight out with the question. Sei, of course, sees through him and throws up her hands, sighing deeply. I guess I can't say no, can I? Very well. I'll lend you use of that place as well, if needed. It's not like I really use it.
Excellent! I knew I could count on you.
Don't celebrate yet. It really is a mess, so don't be shocked when you first see it. However, you can use it as you see fit. Since it's an atelier, it already has easels and things like that. You'll only need your own tools and materials, and to somehow clean it up a bit. It's not habitable, though, so I can't let you live there. I doubt your school or parents will allow that in any case. Okay. However, it's convenient to crash there overnight if necessary. I won't mind.
Most excellent, isn't it, Tezuka?
He enthusiastically pats Rin on the shoulder, laughing in relief and happiness, as if all this good fortune landed on him personally. Sei smiles as well, perhaps more amused by the old teacher's glee than anything else. Oh dear, Shinichi, this really is like back then. Are you sure we all haven't bitten off more than we can chew? She looks at Rin, who seems to be oddly subdued despite all of this. I hope it'll be worth it, kitten. I don't like that. No. That just feels wrong. It feels wrong for them to say shit like that to her. Ugh. She holds out her hand as if to shake Rin's, but realizes the impossibility and quickly moves to pat her on the shoulder. Rin looks back at her silently, her eyes serious and impenetrable like the dark of the night. Ugh. Ugh. Rin applies for, and thanks to Nomiya pressuring the principal, I'm sure, is granted leave for the rest of the term for exceptional extracurricular activities. She has to make up for it during summer vacation, but it seems she doesn't mind. Rin will still be able to eat and sleep at school, of course. She just doesn't have to go to classes. I'm not entirely sure if I envy her or not. It all makes me feel anxious somehow. It's the last day of school for Rin. I feel like I should send her off with a word of encouragement, or at least say something. It was sort of due to my influence that she decided to dive headfirst into this, after all. My class ends a good 20 minutes early, so I walk down to the lobby and buy a can of juice, then sit down on a bench and wait for Rin. I pull out a novel from my bag and search for the place where I was. Time stretches comfortably over the warm afternoon while I idly sip my orange juice and read a few chapters of my book. Or the book. Plot doesn't seem to advance at all, but it's all the same for me. The bell rings to end the school day and students shuffle to club meetings or outside. Nobody notices me, sitting on the bench with my nose in the novel. I keep watch for Rin, but I don't see her familiar face or red-tinted hair passing by. I check my watch 20 minutes past the end of class, when the lobby has all but emptied of people again. Even Rin should have already managed to get out of class, but either I missed her walking by, or she never came downstairs. Perhaps she went to the art room for some last-minute things instead, or got held back by her strict homeroom teacher. I haven't really waited that long, but having grown tired of it already, I decided to go find her myself. I stuff my book back in my bag and throw the now empty juice can in a trash bin, then climb upstairs. Hallway is eerily quiet, as there's no club rooms apart from the art room nearby. I check there first, but not even the teacher is in. Coming back toward the stairwell, I quietly knock on the door of 3-4 and push the door open to peek in. Yellow sunbeams cross the classroom, falling across the floor. The dust and chalk floating slowly in the air make the light almost palpable. The entire room bathes in the gentle light shining through the windows, washing the shadows away. Only one person is inside the classroom. She fell asleep. That is kind of precious. Yeah, that is actually pretty precious. Rin sits in what I assume is her seat, next to the window in the third row. Her head rests against the desk. I wonder if she slept through it all. Apparently, not even Emmy had the heart, or maybe the capability, to wake her up. I closed the door quietly. Walking past the neat, even row of desks, I go over to where she sits. Rin? My mouth is suddenly so dry that the word comes out as a tiny whisper. She doesn't answer, so I set my bag down on the floor next to hers and lean over her to look at her face. Rin's eyes are peacefully closed, the long eyelashes projecting thin shadows onto her cheeks. Her mouth is slightly open, letting me hear the quiet sound of her breathing. Okay, dude, stop being a fucking creep and watching her sleep. This is just weird. Stop being weird, Hisao. Her usually messy hair is even more so today, laying in complete disarray over half her face and forehead. Her bag is laying at her feet like a forgotten rag doll. A few books and pens have fallen out of it near her seat. The scene makes me smile a little. I touch Rin's head lightly, sweeping a few stray hairs off her ear. Her hair feels warm against my palm. Dude, what the fuck? Are you gonna blow into her fucking ear to wake her up? Rin stirs, and I retract my hand on reflex, feeling embarrassed for touching her so casually. She looks so vulnerable, like any sleeping person. It's impossible not to feel fondness towards her. I sit on the desktop of whoever's in front of Rin, then draw the window slightly open to get some fresh air in. Hopefully it'll wake her up, and I won't need to resort to cruder methods. Okay, a little bit of just skipping between two different animation, like two different still images. Cool. Haven't seen that in any of the other routes, so that's pretty nice. She doesn't wake up, but I didn't really expect her to. Looking at her makes me feel tired as well. To be honest, I wouldn't mind a quick nap either, but I content myself with leaning against the large window. Glass is warm against my ear and cheek, as those windows face west toward the setting afternoon sun. That afternoon light is slowly melting into Rin's auburn hair, softening her outline so that she seems to be fading into her surroundings. The minute twitches of her muscles, her hair swaying in the air current, the even rhythm of her breathing, it all gives the strong impression of a dreaming girl. Like all sleeping people, Rin looks like she is away from this world, in some distant dream country. With her, it doesn't feel so obvious that she would ever come back. She seems so detached from her surroundings, even when she's awake. In fact, she has the same kind of air around her when... The realization hits my consciousness without warning. Rin sometimes looks like that when she's painting. Her focused expression gives the same feeling of being on the other side of some imaginary gap as looking at her sleeping face does. I feel a pain in my chest. There's no way I can close that gap and be on the same level with her. It hurts, even though I know it's impossible for any two people to truly understand each other. Damn, where the fuck is this coming from, dude? But Rin, she's almost literally in another world when she's talking about art, thinking about art, or making art. It's a world that I, or anyone else really, can't share with her. Just like the world of dreams. Ren still doesn't show any sign of waking up, so I'm faced with the decision to either rouse her myself or wait for her to awaken on her own. I choose the latter. Waiting is something I'm good at. I found that out during my hospitalization. But even the hospital ward was more lively than the school after classes are over. The only sounds in this place are the loud ticking of the clock above the door and the distant voices of students down the grounds. A genuine summer breeze blows inside from the window I cracked open, full of warmth and carrying the scent of light. The scent of light. You sure you haven't been chewing on some codeine pills there, Hasao? I don't think you're supposed to be able to smell light. You gonna tell me what colors taste like next? Yeah, we can definitely see that Rin is having an impression on Hisao of the way he's thinking and describing things. Just like in every route, he takes on little traits from the girls. In Shizune's, he was a little more competitive. In Emmy's, he was that bit more energetic and lively. And now in Rin's, he's a bit more introspective. I don't know which one I prefer more. But it's not this one. I look outside to see where it came from, but I'm dazzled almost instantly. The window glass seems to trap all the sunlight within, make it painful to look that way. All I can glimpse through the window are the dark silhouettes of the trees and the wall around the campus against the setting sun's radiance. As I turn back to watch Rin, she stirs again. Oh, not one of these songs. A single tear worms down from the corner of her eye, making its way across her face before it falls onto the desk. It's tiny, barely a droplet, but it captivates me. Another tear follows the first, and then a third. A feeling of anxiety overcomes me, petrifying me on the spot. It's so strange, seeing Rin's face peaceful as she sleeps, at the same time as tears stream down her cheeks, wetting the wooden desktop she rests her head on. What the hell is going on, Rin? What the? It's just what is like the realization of what's going on is now just setting in. I don't like this. No, no. I don't know what to do, so I do nothing, and just watch the tears roll one by one down her face. I wonder what she's dreaming about. Rin wakes up after one final flinch, or perhaps because of the tears. She sits upright and yawns so excessively it looks like her jaw might dislocate. I've done that before. It happens sometimes when you yawn, just feels like something just came out. Yeah, hate it. She notices my presence, but her reaction is more like the lack of any reacting at all. It's just an acknowledgement, no startled gasp or anything. Hello. Good morning. She's so groggy she can't even return my smile that I somehow can't stretch to be entirely honest. Rin notices her wet cheeks and quickly wipes them on the shoulders of her shirt. It seems she isn't at all surprised or flustered by them. You cried in your sleep. A bad dream? No, it's nothing like that. It's something I've learned to do. From other people. It's a funny story. I'll tell you later. On second thought, not really that funny at all. I guess I won't tell you. Did you want something, or did you just come watch me sleep? Hey, Jan. You're on break till 1:20? Cool, cool. How's your day going so far? Good, glad to hear. So, just to kind of quickly catch you up on what's going on, Rin took up the offer to have at least talk to the art teacher's friend about getting her art put on display. We met the person, and after some talk, she said, "Sure, I can put your stuff on display, but you're gonna need to, paint some more stuff, because your current things don't really have much of a theme to them." So, Rin has now been excused from classes for the time being to literally just paint. This is supposed to be her last day at school before she just focuses on doing nothing but really painting. And we find her in her class asleep, and she was crying. And she just says it's like nothing. It's something she's learned to do, to cry in her sleep. So that's the gist of it. I wanted to see you after classes. Oh. Well, it's after classes now, and I'm seeing you right here. Yeah. I wanted to say good luck or something. I figure the upcoming weeks are going to be a lot of work for you. Thanks. Rin yawns again and blinks a few times. I feel weird. I didn't really sleep much last night at all. Butterflies in your stomach? What? No. I mean, yes. I know what that means. Butterflies. Don't really feel so good now. It'll be fine. You're so confident. Someday it'll bite you in the ear. I'll look forward to it. I think I have to go. I promised Miss Seonji that I'd go straight there after school, and now is after school. Is it okay if I come by sometime? I'm guessing you're planning to work long hours, so if you'd prefer to avoid distractions... It's okay. It's not a distraction. Not like Emmy. Don't bring her with you, though. I wouldn't like that this time. I told her to stay away. I see. Alright then. Rin stands up and silently walks to the door, with me following behind. The school's empty hallways, devoid of the usual crowd of students, feel very lonely. It's only a few hours since school ended, but the building seems to be all but deserted. Our footsteps are all that intrudes upon the stillness of the hallways. The change is sudden, but it shows how the building is just an empty shell, dead without its students and teachers to liven it up. It's like the school has become a private world for just the two of us, a desolate place filled with silence and chalk dust. I'm going to change. She says this out of the blue while we walk down the stairs from the 3rd floor, and it makes me wonder how she views this challenge that lies ahead of her. And that's what people must do sometimes. That's the last thing we say to each other that day, even though there's so much that we could talk about. And even those words drown in the all-encompassing silence, disappearing into the stagnant air as if they were never said. The next Monday is marked by a strange emptiness that grips me, caused by the knowledge I won't be able to see Rin whenever I want to anymore. This hollow feeling's a little bit disconcerting, but I make it to the afternoon all the same. My last class is, in a word, terrible. It's not the lesson is that bad. It is, however, boring. And it's so hot in the classroom, I feel like I'm melting. The air conditioner is either broken or turned off, so the windows are open. It makes no difference since the air outside is completely still. Only the chirping of cicadas carries inside. Sweltering heat permeates the room. Students and teachers alike are in an almost delirious state. I just want to stand up and walk out of here without caring what the teacher or anyone else says. I can see I'm not the only one with these thoughts too. I mean, as we've learned in previous routes, you could just do that. If you felt like it, you could just get up and leave. I mean, Hanako does, all the time. Then again, she does. All the teachers have been forewarned. Next to me, Misha is shamelessly holding her skirt up in a bit and fanning air in with her notebook. Okay, Misha, you do you. Only Shizune seems to be as cool as always, sitting with her back perfectly straight, arms folded on her chest, her eyes fixed on the equations scrawled on the blackboard. I keep shooting yearning glances at my watch, but it doesn't help the time go by any faster. It's funny. I remember how badly I wanted to get out of the hospital and go back to school. Now all I can think of is the upcoming summer vacation and freedom from classes and homework. Perhaps it's human nature to think only of the situation at hand. More or less. Finally, the bell rings. Relieved, my classmates and I burst out into the hallway, already crowded by students from our neighboring classes. Oh, hey, Emmy. I spot Emmy's diminutive figure nearby and walk up to her. Hey there. She smiles sweetly, clearly happy to see me.
Isao! What's up? Is your classroom super hot too?
Yeah, it is. Thought I was gonna melt in there. Nothing else is really happening, though. Feeling a bit weird now that Rin's on her great adventure, or whatever you want to call it. Emmy's face cracks in a wider smile, and she jumps up and down enthusiastically.
Isn't it great? I'm so happy for her. I bet everyone will like her paintings, and she'll sell a lot of them and make piles of money.
course it's... Yes, she's doing this to sell the paintings. Yeah, sure. She's totally gonna make a lot of money from art. Everyone makes a ton of money when they do art, right? Right? Yeah, I'm sure it'll work out great.
I'm totally sulking her, though.
She huffs angrily and places her hands firmly on her hips, even letting a little anger seep into her voice. It doesn't quite have the impact she's probably hoping for, but I say nothing. Why's that?
She said she doesn't want me to go see her.
Oh yeah, she mentioned that. I guess she prefers to not be distracted. I can understand that.
I don't think I'm that much of a distraction. Besides, I'm sure she'll forget about sleeping and eating properly if someone's not there telling her to do it.
You got a point there. You left her medicine and she didn't bother to read it. She just fucking ate Cody.
Sometimes she's like that. Gets completely fixated on whatever and drops everything else. It really makes me worried, you know? Is she gonna be alright?
Such friendship.
I wonder. I wonder if she thinks I'm annoying.
I'm pretty sure that's not the case at all. Emmy shakes her head, looking amused. I'm not sure if she's joking or not.
She has these weird ideas about a lot of stuff. Things just make sense to her in a totally different way than they do to me. I can't even remember all the weird stuff she's talked about over all this time. I don't think Rin does either, really. She's the type who would forget her own head if it wasn't attached to her shoulders. That's why I just can't leave her alone. Is that weird?
She leans against the wall, managing to look distraught, yet still cheerful as always. I get a strange feeling about it, as though I were talking to two people at the same time. How would I know? Everyone's weird in some way, but if that's yours, it's a very nice way. At least I can understand what you're talking about, unlike Rin. Most of the time, I have no idea about what's going on inside her head either. Emmy giggles, nodding in agreement.
I think it's okay, even if you don't understand her. That's how she usually is.
Emmy stands up straighter, brushing the hem of her skirt and straightening the waistline. She laughs awkwardly.
Wow, we ended up talking pretty seriously. What's up with you, Hisao? Why'd you bring this up?
Oh, sorry. I don't really mean to get into this sort of discussion either. I don't know. I had this weird feeling lately about Rin. I don't know why. I feel a bit guilty bringing up something like this for no reason except my own anxiety.
It'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Suddenly, Emmy clutches my wrist and twists it so she can see what time it is from my watch. She could have just asked. No, she's gonna like freaking break her goddamn wrist just to see the time.
Oh, damn. This late already? I should really go. There's a meeting with the rest of the track team at the field. It's not gonna be fun in this heat. I'm gonna sweat like pigs, but I promised I'd be there. Bye-bye.
She skips downstairs, leaving me wondering if what I said, or what Rin said rather, hurt her or not. Maybe what Emmy herself said hurt the most, come to that. Whatever. So in the end, even the person closest to Rin is just as far apart from her as everyone else. I wonder if Rin herself ever feels that distance. I felt like I was drifting away from the world too during my hospitalization. I felt anxious and depressed, and even now, I sometimes still do. But I fight against it with all I've got. If Rin has been on that side of the divide for her whole life, I can't imagine how she could not be lonely. Perhaps she's truly different. I refuse to belong to that other place, but maybe she's found comfort there. As I walked through the hall that afternoon, I glanced at my watch. It's almost 4:30. I would normally have a club meeting to attend, but I don't feel like going to the art club at all, so I start heading the opposite way. Dude, you already said you were quitting the fucking art club earlier. Why haven't you quit yet? It's been at least a week. You told Rin, yeah, I'm gonna quit the art club. It's not for me. And yet you're still talking about going. Like, what the fuck, dude? I, I don't understand him so much. Ugh. Hisao is just Hisao. That's all I can really say about that. Feels like a poorly chosen decision. I just know that if I skip club once, I'm gonna skip it again and again. This is probably it for me in the art club. You sound so disappointed in your boy. I am kind of disappointed in him. Because he said he was going to quit, but then he doesn't, but now he's still part of the club, but now he's just going to skip it. It's like, come on, man. Figure your shit out. Either quit or don't quit. Don't be wishy-washy like this, man. Like, come on. I'm allowed to be disappointed in him. It's been bubbling beneath the surface for a while now, though. I guess I'll formally quit later. I keep watching the bland linoleum floor while I walk without a direction. This leads me, perhaps unconsciously, to the school library. It's almost empty and completely quiet. A few studious first years are sitting at the tables, joining efforts to get homework done before dinner time. Yuko's hard at work today, too. She's methodically going through a towering stack of books sitting on her desk, checking them one by one and then placing them onto a cart beside her. I greet her as I stop by.
Good afternoon. I haven't seen you here for a while. Did you read all the books already?
She seems to be in a good mood. I don't think so. I joined the art club, so I've been passing the time there instead of working my way through your collection. I think I'm gonna quit though, so I guess you'll be seeing more of me again from now on.
You didn't like the club?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't have much of a talent for art, but I didn't hate doing it either. I guess it just feels a bit pointless. I can't really see any purpose in going.
The art teacher scares me a little.
I mean, ugh. Yeah, he doesn't scare. He creeps me the fuck out. Really? He seems like a really nice guy. Maybe a bit over the top sometimes. Yuko makes a face I can't read, but doesn't say anything further. How are you doing?
Something gonna happen to me today. I didn't flunk my university course.
Well, that's great, isn't it?
Yes! Without the credit, I might have been kicked out, and then I'd have a lot of explaining to do to my family. I'm really lucky. I think I'm gonna buy a pudding today to celebrate.
Oh, the little things. The little victories like that. I passed my university course. I shall buy a pudding. Pudding is good. Very, very good. I could go for a pudding now. Damn it! Being a university student sounds hard. I'm surprised you're working 2 jobs while still attending.
My part-time work really makes it hard to keep up with my studies, and I get yelled at by my student counselor. And then if I stay up late studying, I get sleepy at work and my boss yells at me. But if I quit my jobs, I'll starve. It's like I just can't win. I wonder why it's like that.
Oh man, if that isn't a commentary. This isn't a commentary on student lives. I don't really know what to say. Yuko isn't really complaining to get empathy out of a guy a lot younger than her. She's basically just talking about the facts of her everyday life. Makes me feel even more pity for her somehow. Wow. Must be hard for you.
I don't know. It's been like this for so long, I've forgotten what it's like to have a normal life. Or maybe this already is a normal life for my age. Is this normal? It is, right? It must be. Why is being normal so depressing?
That's life, unfortunately. I couldn't say. Not like being abnormal. Not like being abnormal's much different, though.
Oh, I didn't mean it like that. Sorry. I just got carried away.
It's fine. It was a joke, sort of. Anyway, you seem to be doing just fine now.
Yes, when I feel really down, I take a step back and make a cup of tea. And when I've drunk the tea, I give my mood a kick in the butt, like wham! And then I tell myself, now you're gonna do this thing, Yuko. And then I go and get it done. That's why I'm working so hard now.
She clenches her fist dramatically at the high point of her spirited explanation. It's a bit unclear what she actually means, but it's nice that she's so motivated. Leaving Yuko alone with her work, I head to the back of the library where the novels are. I briefly consider reading something non-fiction for a change. Maybe a biography, perhaps? But in the end, I decide against it. My fingers trace the spines along the rows upon rows of novels. They occasionally pull out the random book so I can read the back and maybe sample the first 2 or 3 pages. Nothing really catches my interest, so I end up picking up a book I've already read back in March or so, at the hospital. I recall liking it. I sit down on one of the beanbag chairs and quickly get sucked into the book, turning pages at a rapid pace. I'm probably not the fastest reader around, but pretty fast all the same. Reading quickly makes me feel oddly satisfied. Focusing on reading is something I'm pretty good at, too. I can cram study pretty efficiently as well, so long as I stay motivated. It's the secret of my good grades, though I'm pretty diligent in class too. That's what Rin and I have in common. She can really focus on painting if she wants to. I wonder what she's doing now. Probably hard at work, painting. This distance that suddenly grew between us irritates me. I thought that we were getting closer, but now that feeling's been lost. I'm a bit worried about her, too. I can't make any sense of my own thoughts. Okay, we actually got another decision now. Holy. So I'll just hit the save there to be safe. Okay. Either I want to be with her more, or I can't leave her alone either. We don't like the distance that's grown between us. Hmm. I have no idea here. She did say we could come by. Because we won't be a distraction to her. Emmy would be a distraction. Don't think we should leave her alone? I don't know. Leaving her alone to herself, it's probably not a good thing, but... I mean, both these are basically saying that, but the one is just leaving her alone probably for herself, while the other one is more for us. Can't leave her alone because I want to be with her. While the other is more like, I can't leave her alone just so she isn't alone. Hmm. So the second one has a little more romantic-esque connotations to it, but all of our interactions with her have not really been romantic. Sure, we get the odd comment of, yeah, maybe she looks kind of cute. Again, that's very occasionally, but nothing as pronounced as like in the other routes. Yeah, she did kiss us, but she was high off her mind, so it technically didn't really mean something. Also, she kind of tripped into it. Plus, she forgot it happened. Hmm. I'm gonna be right back. I gotta use the bathroom real bad. Hopefully, I can figure it out what I want to do. I'm probably gonna lean more toward this one, in all honesty. But I'll be back momentarily. Okay, back. Alright. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go with this one. It's a little more for her benefit, not so much for us, because that feels way too selfish of a thing. I share Emmy's sentiment of being worried about Rin. She's the type who might get so caught up in her own strange world and get lost in there before she knows it. It's not that I feel like being some kind of white knight who could save Rin from herself. She doesn't need saving. But I just can't leave her alone either. If I want to keep what I have with Rin going, I have to get involved with making this exhibition happen, right at her side. I realize I've been sitting on the same page for a while now. I turn my gaze back to the book I'm reading. The jungle of glyphs has somehow turned into a near incomprehensible cipher. I stare hard at it, expecting the text to start making sense to me. No pattern emerges, nothing that could take me any further than I am. Dazed, I close the book and put it back on the shelf, and then sit back down and think honestly and hard about what I really want. Forgot to close my door. The next day, I take the bus into the city. It goes twice an hour, starting in the morning, passing by the front gate of Yamaku at 20 minutes past and 10 to the hour. The ride takes considerably longer than the one Nomiya gave us in his car. I slowly read a book as the bus makes its rounds through the suburbs, pausing at almost every stop to pick up someone or let them out. Eventually, we make it to the last stop at the city center. Low thrum of the bus. Oh yeah, I do like how they'll add little things like that. Just all the little background ambient noises are great. Eventually, we make it to the last stop at the city center. The city is fair-sized, but not too large, and seems too quiet. Nevertheless, I enjoy the atmosphere. Despite being slightly directionally challenged, I find my way from the bus station to the gallery without too much effort, and soon find myself staring at the big letters saying 22nd Corner. Inside, the gallery owner is intently studying a large painting hanging on the wall, a portrait of an old man. Good afternoon. She turns around to look at me, and a smile of recognition spreads on her lips.
Oh, aren't you the young man from the other day, Shinichi student? Hisao, was it?
That's right. Good afternoon, Miss Sayonji.
Please, just call me Sei. I don't want to feel any older than I am. You know, I'm so glad that even young people show interest in art nowadays. It's so refreshing. What brings you here? Surely you aren't on just a courtesy visit all the way from your school.
Actually I came for Rin. I was hoping to see how she's doing.
Oh, is that right? Well then, you need to step back outside. You see, the atelier is actually at the next door on the right down the street, and up the stairwell. Just climb the stairs to the top floor. There's only one door there. You can't miss it.
I give Sei my thanks and exit the gallery and locate the door she's talking about. It leads to a dark stairwell, which reminds me of the stairs leading to the roof of the school building. The stairs are steep, even though it's only 5 floors. My breathing gets heavy before I reach the top. An unassuming wooden door waits for me there. It's unlocked, so I knock and enter. Yeah, it's Atelier. The Atelier really is just one big room, with the ceiling lower at one end than the other because the roof of the building is gabled. There's a huge skylight in the ceiling that acts as the main source of light for the room, bringing in sunlight that reflects off the white painted walls. I suppose it's good to use natural light for art. There isn't much in the way of interior decoration. No surprise, since the room seems to be no surprise since the room seems to have been used as storage for a while. Oh boy. All kinds of boxes and office furniture are scattered around the place. The room is dusty since it's not been used for a while. I can see that someone has made some effort to clean up a little, but it's far from immaculate. Rin stands in the center of the room with her back to me, staring at a half-painted canvas placed on an easel. Not working on it, just staring, unmoving. She wears what must be second or third-hand denim overalls over the standard school uniform shirt, much like the one I'm wearing. They look pretty worn and are covered in paint splatters. From the way they seem to be loose or tight in places, I'm guessing they weren't originally Rin's. Hi. Hello. Rin doesn't judge my showing up as worthy of turning around, saying maybe something more than just a mechanical reply to my greeting, smiling anything. Ugh. Ugh, man. Talking weird right now. She keeps on doing whatever it is she's doing. Probably some weird creative thing inside her head. Perhaps I should have expected as much. Still, I make another attempt at conversation. This is a pretty cool place. Big, too.
It is. Say said I can use this as much as I like. I even have my own key.
So, how's the work going? She doesn't answer for a while. I begin to wonder if she's already forgotten the question. As a cloud drifts over the building, shadowing the light pouring in from the skylight, the change in Rin's surroundings seemed to wake her up.
I don't know. It's like a huge ball. I don't really know which side is the right one. It's really huge. It's the hugest thing ever. Like a mountain growing inside of me. Like I swallowed a mountain whole. It's gonna be hard, I think. Really very hard.
Try to listen for undercurrents of stress or uncertainty in her voice, but I don't pick up anything like that.
Why are you here?
Her tone is not as unkind as the directionness of the question would make it seem. Or directness, fuck. Whatever. Well, you said it'd be fine if I came to visit, so here I am. Guess it's not for any real reason, but I thought you might like company, or assistance, or maybe some...
Isao? Can you be quiet for about 15 minutes? Maybe 10 is enough. 5 definitely is not. You can talk afterwards.
Her tone is sharp, nothing like I've ever heard from her before. There's no command, no annoyance, no anger, but her voice pierces me all the same. All right. With the silence that falls, anxiety creeps back into my heart. I wonder if it was a mistake to come here. Murmurs of traffic filter in from outside, and I start to feel more and more uncomfortable. All my thoughts keep finding themselves returning to certain things that have been swirling relentlessly in the back of my mind for some time now. I feel like those thoughts will surface out of the most I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna say that right. Tempestuous. Come on.
Tempestuous.
Yep, tempestuous. Cool. I feel like those thoughts will surface out of the tempestuous sea of my mind, whether I want it or not. Desperate to divert my focus, I fixate on Rin's back as my mind races. I don't think I've ever studied anyone's back so intently before. Her neck, hidden by copper-colored hair, which is, again, in complete disarray. That relaxed yet rigid posture, reminding me that Rin's physical appearance often tends to be as awkward as her various trains of thought. Those gaunt, delicate shoulder blades, visible through the thin white fabric of her shirt. The contours of her hips curving down to her thin thighs. It pisses me off. What the fuck? I am confusion. Rarely does she seem to be looking at me, whether literally or figuratively. I, on the other hand, am always watching her back, both literally and figuratively. Whenever she is painting, whenever something catches her fluttery attention, whenever I don't forcefully make her listen to me. I can't reach through to her. Rin's heart is uncharted territory, dangerous waters, the blank areas on a map. The edge of the world? If I went too close, I wonder if I would fall off. What do I think of her? Sometimes she's aloof and distant, and it annoys me. At other times, her passion for the things she likes things she thinks worthwhile shines through, and it inspires me. I can't understand her. Still, I like her and consider her my friend. I suppose part of friendship is putting up with the oddities of the people you can call friends. I have to admit, there's a lot of putting up with Rin. What does she think of me? I have no idea. Last week, I thought she might have liked me romantically, what with a kiss and all. She was high! She was drugged up on codeine. That means nothing. She was not thinking straight, and she also forgot. So, yeah, dude, that didn't mean anything. It forced me to ponder my own feelings, too. This week, I'm utterly confused. What would she do if I told her I liked her that way? I wonder if I really do. Damn, I can't even make sense of my own thoughts anymore. Must be contagious. Even if I said a thing like that, would it matter? Nothing affects Rin. Nothing. I'm done. I find her turned around, now staring straight at me. It unnerves me. I try to remember what we, or rather I, were talking about before she requested a timeout. Oh, right. I just came to... I don't know. You still can't finish your sentences? It's not that. Fine. She retreats from the conversation, slipping away from me once again. She doesn't return to painting, but instead keeps looking at me with that empty poker face of hers. I wanted to talk about some stuff. I've thought a lot about things. What things? Like what happened last week and so on. What happened? I get the feeling she's playing with me. Why, I have no clue. It's not a game she's playing with my head. I'm pretty sure she doesn't deliberately try to screw with people. Maybe it's just my own mind playing tricks on itself. Still, Rin feels like a puzzle in the form of a girl. I feel attracted to it, compelled to solve it, the overly rational part of my brain refusing to let me give up. I can't leave her alone. I never would have believed I could be this obsessive about something. Why do I hesitate so much and keep running in circles around her? I don't have to do that. I already decided what I want to say. Rin? Saying her name with an intention makes this my mouth dry, as if my subconscious is fighting against what I'm going to say next. I feel like I'm gonna lock up any moment now. Rin looks up from her paint-covered toes and stops wriggling them, as if it isn't anyone to observe them curiously now. The hard stare of her dark green eyes seems like a portent. I like you. Lack of any reaction is like a slap to the face. So, I mean, I'd like to like you more than a friend. What is more? The slow, hesitant words coming from between her strawberry-colored lips are not ones I was waiting for. Neither of the two possible answers I'd been expecting, actually. I feel myself blushing heavily, as is par for the course in this kind of situation. My heartbeat sounds like a percussion orchestra on drugs. You gonna fucking have a heart attack right here and now, dude? You trying to weirdly confess? Rin's faux innocent inquiry feels like I'm being grilled over hot coals. You know, like romantically and... No. Rin turns around, giving me the cold shoulder as she returns to looking at her painting. She makes a move to pick up her brush, which lies forgotten on the floor, but decides against it at the last moment. I can't talk about that kind of thing now. So, don't talk about that kind of thing. Please. We are friends, right? So you can do that. The silence those words leave behind is deafening. I want to say something, but my mouth refuses to move. There's no way I can retain my dignity. Ren finally picks up the brush without giving any explanation for her behavior. Dude. Deal with it. She doesn't need to explain anything. So deal with it. Maybe there was something in her voice that gave away some emotion, but I couldn't say what. Her shoulders slump melancholy as her foot works on the canvas in front of her. She won't let me see her face, and I know it. Feeling the weight of my heart grow heavy, I stand up to leave, for I can't stay here any longer today. It's like I have opened Pandora's box by stepping over some line that Rin didn't want me to cross, and she had to turn me down. I walk across the squeaky floor of the door leading to the stairwell. Rin's quiet voice stops me in my tracks as I'm about to open the door. Hisao? My hand, still on the brass doorknob, is waiting for me to turn it or to withdraw. Yeah? Will you come tomorrow? Yeah. I almost want to stop there, but this does not feel like a good place to pick this up tomorrow, so I'm gonna try to go for a little longer. Oh, good lord. Also, dude, she doesn't need to explain anything. She doesn't want to talk about it, so there you go. End of story. She's also probably got other things on her mind right now. She doesn't need that weighing down on her, too. Fuck, deal with it, man. After a night of bad sleep, I go through the day mostly on automatic. I put on my uniform mechanically, do my schoolwork mechanically, eat my lunch mechanically, reply to teachers mechanically, and thus when the final bell rings, I still feel as if I'd just woken up. My mind feels blank and overcrowded at the same time. I can't even begin to unravel the tangle of feelings I've gotten myself into. I spend the bus trip downtown staring out the window, thinking about these things. As a result, by the time I climb the stairs to the atelier 4 floors above Say's gallery, I'm feeling completely exhausted. Expecting awkwardness, I quietly knock on the door before entering. I spot Rin at the center of the small clear area in the room, working on a painting. She doesn't acknowledge my arrival in any way. Hi. I came, as promised. Rin snaps her head to my direction immediately. Was she waiting for me to say something? And locks her cold green gaze and locks that cold green gaze of hers on me. Although I'm sure my own face can't hide my feelings, Rin's expression is as expectant and neutral as always. The clouded, slightly absent-minded darkness in her eyes is like a wall standing between me and her. It is the first awkward silence between us that is truly awkward. Yesterday, both of us said something we couldn't take back, and there's no way it can be undone. I want to say something, but Rin forbade me from doing so. Yeah, again, to quote Star Wars like I did yesterday during Yuri's route, once a secret is known, it cannot be unknown. I can't even begin to guess what she's thinking, but I'm feeling the pressure of her lightless eyes on me, compelling me to break the silence without saying the thing I want to say, I most want to say. Fuck. Ugh. I'll get better at this eventually. To my horror, I find I can't find any way to start a conversation. It's as if I completely lost the ability to speak with her. Just keep working if you're in the middle of something. I'll just sit down here. Rin nods wordlessly at me and picks up the brush from the floor with the toes of her right foot. I sink into a worn-out sofa, picking up a book from my bag and opening it to where I stopped last night. I can't really concentrate on it, but it's better than doing nothing. The two of us are so close to each other, together in the same room even. And yet, we're both off doing our own thing, as if we're miles apart. I can't help but wonder about this unnatural situation. Why did I come here? Because she asked me to do so yesterday, of course. However, it looks like there's absolutely no need for me to actually be here. It makes me feel awkward at first. But as I recall the previous silences I've quietly passed with Rin, I settle down and try to tune into that same comfortable mood I was in back then. Time stretches, and then slows down. Pages of my book rustle each time I turn them. After maybe half an hour, or 1 hour at the most, Rin breaks the silence to my complete surprise. Miss Sal? Yeah? Are you my friend? It's an echo of yesterday. I know it. So, even Rin couldn't just push it aside from her mind. Caught off guard, I answer honestly. Yeah, of course I am. Don't worry about stuff like that, come on. Okay. She didn't say anything further. I feel happy somehow. Several chapters later, I mark my spot, close the book, and put it away in my bag. Getting up from the sofa, I see Rin's made considerable progress on her painting. I take a look at it for a bit. It's still not quite finished, I suppose. It looks great. It's bad luck to comment on unfinished paintings. Yeah, that's an echo back from Act 1. After that, I quietly leave the studio and catch the bus, taking me back to school. Yeah, that was awkward as fuck. You made it awkward, dude. Do I want to keep going? Do I want to keep going? Don't know if I want to keep going or not. Nah. I'll leave this off here for today. What the fuck? Why is the scene called Badan? Okay then. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna leave off here for today. That felt a little bit more natural of an end than without that scene. At least in my opinion. And wow. Good job, Asao. Managed to make things awkward with a girl that's already awkward. Good job. I don't know if that would change anything if I chose the other option. Probably not. And yeah, it does happen. Yeah, you're right there. Yeah, it goes on. I mean, think about it. She's doing something potentially big that for her that could, you know, could potentially make her life better. So there's already a lot of pressure on her. Do you really want to add something like that too? Add a freaking potential love confession onto that to make her think about that and distract her more? There's a time and a place, Asao. This was not the time nor the place. Anywho, tomorrow, 10 o'clock, we will continue on to see how this awkward relationship now gets more awkward, less awkward, stays the same. Who the hell knows? So, I just want to thank everyone for watching, commenting, lurking, all that fun stuff. Very, very much appreciate it. Hope everyone has a good rest of their day. I'll see you next time.